Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I am making a reading before I go to bed. I will probably do a little bit of knitting and wind down. I hope you don't mind these videos. Um, this is going to be a Circle of Friends video, and in my mind, I say sometimes I don't have much to say, and then Spirit responds, you'll know what to say. So here I am. I had a couple of things come to mind before I started filming, and it touches on different perspectives. So there's a lot of mechanisms that go into this these conversations. And maybe I'll share a couple of examples and it might give more of an understanding of those types of situations and interactions. Some things that you might encounter, some things that you might want to keep in mind, and from there you could do what is a decision that you'll be happy to make. And even if the decision doesn't seem like a super happy decision, um, it's based off of things that you know and things to consider and to get somewhat of an overview if maybe you might be blindsided in some aspects. Hopefully, I won't be too sleepy sounding. So, something that came to mind before, and it showed up in a couple of readings ago, where there was an energy that tried to intercept when I was sending light to those on the field. And I'm not sure if there is an equivalent idiom to spilling the tea, if it's a common phrase that you use in different parts of the world, but it's not as the extreme of gossiping in this case because there needs to be some resolutions, and then there's an energy or party or person or like a toxic team or team toxic that just isn't cooperating in that way. So you bring in an energy or energies that can alleviate the situation to make things more smoothly, uh, to go in a better direction. And so you have those energies that are more of an alliance that have um, an agreement to, you know, help one another or maybe help one person or group. And then the tea walks in because they're, in a way, spilling the tea. And the tea that walks in is the one that just doesn't want to cooperate. Um, and it kind of reminds me of one situation that happened recently in the pharmacy. when a person that has come to the pharmacy is for regular things wanted to drop off empty or full prescription bottles. I am not sure the extent of what type of bottles. Regardless, the pharmacy that I work at isn't signed up to meet that criteria, so we don't dispose of those things. And so a person could maybe look up things, learn information of how to dispose of them with like the fire department. Um, and this is random and I'll address it later. There's also an aspect of putting out the fire because for the past couple of months there's like fire escape fire. Um, that was going off a different conversation, but we have, some bins for certain things. There's the HIPAA bin, that's like papers of documents of like patient information that gets picked up and incinerated. There's the hazard bin for maybe chemicals, for chemicals, things that you use to compound, gloves, things linked to that. What doesn't go in a hazard bin are syringes. And one time there were syringes in the bin, the hazard bin, and the company that was picking up fined us over $300 for it. So there's definitely protocol and there are methods to things. The argument that came about was the ones that the person had doesn't even have anything. I mean, there's a label on there. Um, but we are under the jurisdiction of the Board of Pharmacy, who makes frequent stops to the pharmacies to make sure things are up to par. And when they aren't, um, we do get marked for it to fix them, sometimes fined for them. So there is a set foundation for that. And we are strict with the patients because they are strict with us as well. It's not just to inconvenience anybody, but the situation was the person was not happy with that answer. Came the next time, the person came back, brought up the conversation again. My answer didn't change. So there's that instigating energy. There is another point of view and another area of this that can be touched on too, because it's not exactly the same it's not the same situation, it's not the same example, and there's different dynamics to it. There's a lot of mechanisms, as I said, to these conversations and how you carry on about them. A lot of things can go on. um, it's not something that you just go blindly into. Sometimes that can be a good thing for life. I feel for these interactions, it's not um, as flexible. So another time that happened recently too is we got, wasn't the biggest thing, but there was someone that shoplifted something not so um, significant in the pharmacy. Regardless, they shoplifted. So because it was so like the owner didn't want to address it with like the cops because it was just a small bag of something like food. So didn't want to make it, didn't want to escalate it to that extreme, but to have the doctor address it to the patient. And the first time the patient came back, made it evident that they weren't doing anything. The next time they come back with somebody. Um, and the way that they were moving about the pharmacy was a little uh, concerning, not only because of the first encounter that what when what transpired, but also the behavior. And I'm not going to go into the type of medication. So it's not so I just feel that the way that the behavior was, it was at least, to put it bluntly, and I'm trying not to be too extreme about it or make it uh, unkind to say. It's when you when somebody doesn't get what they want, like a bully doesn't get what they want, and so uh they bring their posse with them to start shit up, as if to say, this is what gives me strength, this is what I'm gonna do, and we're going to make sure that just because people know this about us, we're not weak. Because it's not usually a one-on-one encounter. It's usually a person that feels the need to involve. And again, I said this is different from the first example because the first involvement is because the person that was the T was just unresponsive and not cooperating and not diplomatic about things. So with this, it's like forming a like team toxic where you're kind of bringing other people into it because you're just trying to like fuck shit up. So nothing happens, but it was kind of the impression of it. And those were the messages. Hopefully they didn't come out rude. But and then there's that level of not really having that trust. And it could be with the opposite, instigating energy, because the owner had other workers or the other colleagues watch the people, and another person was looking at the surveillance cameras as they were walking around. Because it just brings up a point of a specific type of defiance just to do it for a reason that you want to justify. It could be for different things, and of course, it's on an individual basis. But if you're spending X amount of money on like medication, even if your insurance does cover it, um, why risk it for something so insignificant? They've been good readings lately. Um, I just pulled out extra cards, but the first card that came out, some of them are repeats after I shuffled them. The main three cards that I saw are the Leadership, Archangel Gabriel. It is time for you to assume your leadership power, position, and position and lovingly guide others. Sorry. Chakra, chakra clearing, Archangel Metatron. Call upon me to clear and open your chakras using sacred geometric shapes. Then Victory, Archangel Saldafon. Your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. And then the two extra cards I got are, one of them has been coming out frequently, and the other one has come out too in some readings. So it's Peace, Archangel Chamuel. Peace comes from remembering that only love is real. Gifts from God, Archangel Saldafon. We angels bring you gifts from your Creator. Open your arms to receive. For some reason, I feel like it's an interesting future ahead because the Two of Swords came out with the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles came out first, and I didn't turn over the other cards. So when I see these two together, in this one, there seems like anxiety that comes from the Two of Swords. So something that hasn't really been addressed or been done in that group, either family, friends, or um, different people involved in this. And there is a sense of uncertainty that comes from it. And one specifically, like, is this going to follow through? Is it going to work? And it looks like, because there's the two queens that are here, with the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. So Pentacles, Earth, and Wands, Fire. This feels like the energy of the alliances too. And they have and offer different resources. And it reminds me of like when the fields like the prairie fields, I believe, are they catch fire, but it cleans the land in that way. Can be, I wouldn't say necessarily misunderstandings, but the differences can make it difficult. It might be different people from different areas of the world. I'm getting specifically language. Yane Rozumio. That's another phrase that I learned. Because in the future, it looks like there are interesting cards that came out, like the combinations. The combinations in general are kind of interesting that are coming out right now. And with the circle of friends, honestly, I don't. It's like I have a general thing that I'm doing with these readings, but a lot of times these readings surprise me. Because you have the Three of Cups, and that could be like a alliance card, but then you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands isn't so. It's not nearly as instigating as the other energy that kind of force their way in. But with the Five of Wands, it's not the most, like, I don't understand. That's what it's kind of giving off. With that, to clarify, is the Nine of Coins. And that's a card that's resourceful. Like, there is something that makes it, like, shocking in a way, almost. And again, it could be behavior, it could be even food, the way that people go about their lives, even communicating. Like, I don't understand. And yet, there's something that really binds the energies together. Um, it also might be a little bit of a bumpy road with that as well. But with it being the Five of Wands is in the minor arcana, it's not nearly as instigating as the other energy. Present card is the Eight of Swords. So this is another card that's blindfolded because you had the Two of Swords that's blindfolded here. With that level of uncertainty, and with it being the swords, it's the I don't knows about things. Have I done this? No. Do I know what's going to happen? No. Do I know what to expect from this person? No. Can I trust them? I don't know. There's a lot of like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. But with the angel cards that came out, it there just seems like energies that you feel that push it in a specific direction, regardless of those uncertainties. And even areas of it that give you that boost of confidence of it confirms a belief that the good can come out of this. We have the Page of Pentacles, and this feels like I have to at least try. And for some reason, like the horse that's trotting just stands out. It doesn't feel like an energy like of anxiety in that way though. Even though there is uncertainty, it kind of feels like there's an excitement. Sometimes in the past, although opposites attract, sometimes opposites are so opposites that it brings up a lot of I don't knows. And yet there's a dynamic here that even though there are some I don't knows, there is also the energy, but I want to try. Because you have a lot of knights have been coming out of these past readings. Because you have the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles, which it would be the Page, Knight, Queen, and King. You have the Page of Pentacles from the other deck, the Glory to Ukraine Tarot. Then you have the Knight of Cups. Because with horses, they tend to be like, it looks like this horse is like, in a way, it's a stretch, but testing the waters is what I'm getting. Just kind of dip the hoof, and it's one of those skittish ones where it can get um it can pull back if it sees any type of something that they're not willing to go towards. The obstacle, you have a king, so it's the King of Cups with the Eight of Cups. So this one, there is a reluctancy to leave because the Eight of Cups generally is the leaving card. Even if your body leaves, your heart might be still saying something like, I can't just change my life like this. But then the what ifs happen because you have the Four of Wands. That could be with the Alliance too. But what if it gives me all of these things? And it's not in a selfish way, but the possibilities of all these happy memories that can come forward, or when you make that decision, it'll be, it feels like worthwhile energy. How to overcome the obstacle is the Two of Coins with the Four of Swords. It really looks like for this reading, it's not necessarily steady footing, and it could also be not having steady footing because of that anxiety that comes from the Two of Swords, from the Eight of Swords, from the obstacle positions, even the horse energy. Because with the Two of Coins, it's kind of like the balancing act of things. You see that the being is on a tree branch over water while balancing the coins, and also with antlers too. So with it being in the coins suit, but also pentacle suit, with the antlers, it kind of feels like a gentleness that comes out of it, like gentle guidance that reminds me of like an elk or a stag, which has some spiritual significance. Maybe like an earth-based spirituality as well. In the past, it's the Magician card. There's an extra card with the Ace of Pentacles, it being the Ace of Pentacles. Because it looks like the hesitation with the horse, but so much was already put into this. So, with the Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Coins, there is already something already set up there. Because I also asked, what do you do when the T walks in? And I got the Moon card. And this feels like one of probably the most significant card in this reading because it really acknowledges things that need to be acknowledged. Um, of course, do what feels like is the best decision for you for the Ten of Pentacles, like family situation. There's also the point of the practicality of it too, and making rational decisions. Because the Moon card, it's like linking to like a Scorpio energy of the Scorpio just, it's not surface level type of energy a lot of the time. It's known for being like some deep shit, and Scorpios just love it. They just kind of thrive on having those deep ass conversations, making those transformative things in your life. Also linking to the Death card too, the constant need to make something change in order to make it better. That's the transfiguration. Um, because it doesn't necessarily have to link to dying. It can be the wounded healer, um, linking to the snake too. The snake sheds its skin, it's still a snake. There is a need to shed, because if you just keep the same skin, you'll be dry and you'll be scaly. Um, honestly, I don't fucking know like what happens to snakes when they don't shed, but it's problematic. So you have a Three of Wands. It's like a walk in the field. With the Seven of Coins, working the field. It's like that's all you've known. These fields. I would like to say I sometimes knit the pretty Ukraine mittens in public. And just something noticeable that people are really uncomfortable with war. Because sometimes the energy just like shifts. And it's almost as if someone says, you know, war is bad, right? And you're like, yeah, it's definitely bad. I can only imagine how terrible it is for the people actually in that situation. And also the sense of having that energy of serving. And it doesn't necessarily have to be uh, like military reference, but the last time there was like a lottery draft here, I believe was wasn't since Vietnam, and now there are those in general. Of course, I can't talk about every case that sign up to join, and a part of it is a part of it of serving is helping others, which can be helping and forming alliances with other countries. It's a big thing. And again, I don't know everyone's situation. Maybe that's why some people feel some aggravation towards me sometimes. It was like that one time when I said in a reading, and you can just get angry at me or curse me out, or if um, something is unsettling with something I did or said, um, just let me know. And they fucking did. I was just, I was just in my car, minding my own business. And I'm sorry, this is just, I didn't expect it to be such a vulgar video, but um, it was like it was pretty straightforward. Like, Adrian, you're such a fucking bitch. And I'm like taken aback a little bit because I, I said it, and there was definitely some consequences to that, but no beef. Because there's the message of war is coming whether you like it or not. And we do these things to I'm getting the word preserve for some reason. Preserve, sanctify, lend a hand, to learn. And you have the Wheel of Fortune here. And that's a big sunflower. Kind of reminds me of like, you know, natural energy conductors. Copper and quartz, it's a combination that's it's pretty common, and copper is a natural energy conductor for that too, with that combination. So you have the Nine of Cups and the King of Wands. King of Wands linking to Leo energy. Nine of Cups. I feel there is a need and a want of an abundance of resources, which isn't that surprising. The Five of Wands here too. That's another interpretation of the Five of Wands. Yeah. And there's a sense of like reiterating and clarifying that I've been getting lately. And I feel like this card goes with peace comes from remembering that only love is real with the Queen of Cups, which is also a counterpart for the King of Cups. So the Queen of Cups could be lending a helping hand as well, and can help the King of Cups get out of that obstacle position. I'll just pull out a couple more cards. The Ace of Pentacles came up again. That looks like a puppet hand. And there does seem to be like a winning streak. I've been feeling that lately. The readings have been coming up top notch. Past 2, 3. And that's all about the business or knowing how to play the game, as I mentioned. There's also another person that comes in, and um, this person's definitely about the business, knows there's a level of persistence that's there, knows where to put the pressure, how to put the pressure, who to put the pressure on, and just knows the game well. And there's like a, a point of being, a sense of self that comes from it. It doesn't feel like a dominance, but it's energy of this is what I do. This is how it needs to be done. Um, my husband may be in a nursing home, but I still have his card on file and I'll use it. And I'm not saying that's exactly how it goes. I'm not saying that's everyone's priority or prerogative at all. Definitely do what you want. Um, but there is a sense of knowing that this is how I'm going to do things, or this is how this person's going to do things. So I'll pull out one more card and then I'll wind down. And it's the Moon card. So I would say this is a really important card for this reading. When you're making this decision to really let these things unfold, to let those things that were in the closet just come out. There's that level of transparency. It doesn't even need to be with another person. It might just be with yourself on how you're going to carry about the business, your life, the funding, how you're going to get from point A to point Q. There's just something specific about it. The dynamics of it just um, really need to be looked at. And there's specifics, and again, a lot of mechanisms that go into it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.